Ever feel that little pang of uncertainty when you want to tell someone about your day in English?
Oh, definitely.
Whether it's just, a casual chat, maybe a class intro, or even those quick-fire questions in a job interview.
Yeah.
Talking about your daily routine is, well, it's kind of a cornerstone of everyday communication.
It really is. It's like the foundation for so many interactions, isn't it? Lets you connect with people.
Okay, so let's get right to it then. This deep dive is all about unlocking your confidence when you're discussing your daily routine in English. We sifted through some really interesting discussions on an English learning platform to bring you the most useful bits.
And our goal is pretty simple, really. We want to help you speak naturally about your day.
Yeah.
From that first blink in the morning right through to when your head hits the pillow.
Right.
We'll be focusing on essential vocabulary, those everyday phrases you hear constantly, and a little bit of basic grammar, the present simple tense.
The present simple. Key for habits.
Exactly. It's crucial for talking about routines and habits.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's start with the action words, the verbs, yeah. The ones that power our descriptions of daily life.
Yeah.
What are some absolute must-knows?
Okay, well, right at the start of the day, obviously, we have wake up.
Okay.
So you might say, I wake up at 6:30 a.m., but then, and this is interesting, the next step is get up.
Right. Different things.
Totally. Wake up is just, your eyes opening, consciousness returning. But get up is physically leaving the bed.
Okay.
So you could say, I usually get up about 15 minutes after I wake up.
That's a useful distinction.
Mm-hmm.
Clears things up. Okay, so what other actions usually fill our mornings?
Well, after getting out of bed, brush my teeth is super common. Like, I brush my teeth as soon as I get up. Then there's take a shower.
Right.
Lots of people say I take a shower in the morning. And of course, food. We have breakfast or eat breakfast.
Can you use either have or eat?
Yeah, both are fine. Have breakfast is maybe a little more common in conversation. So I have a quick breakfast around 7:00.
Right. Got it. Those are the morning essentials. What about when we, move on to work or studies?
Okay, so we use go to work or go to school. Pretty straightforward. I go to work at 8:30. And then the moment you actually start doing stuff, start work or start school. For instance, my classes start at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Later in the day, we have lunch. Like, I usually have lunch around 1 o'clock.
Right.
Then as the day winds down, we finish work. So I finish work at 5 p.m. Then you come home.
Come home, yeah.
I usually come home by 6:00. Evenings often involve cook dinner. We cook dinner together most nights around 7:30, maybe followed by some downtime, like watch TV.
Yeah, relaxing.
I watch a little TV to unwind after dinner, and finally go to bed.
Be end of the line.
Exactly. I aim to go to bed before 11 tomorrow.
Okay. That gives us a great toolkit of verbs. Brilliant. Now, how do we place these actions in the day? Time phrases.
Yes, crucial. Knowing your time expressions. We use in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening to sort of chunk the day up.
Right, main parts.
Yeah, like I prefer to exercise in the morning, and then we have at night.
And how is at night different from in the evening?
Good question. At night usually refers to the later part, maybe after 9 or 10 p.m., closer to bedtime. Like, I often read a chapter of a book at night.
Okay, that makes sense. And how do we talk about how often we do these things? Like, not just when, but how frequently?
Exactly. That adds another layer, doesn't it? That's where adverbs of frequency come in handy.
Like always?
Yeah, always. I usually check my emails first thing, sometimes, and never.
Never.
Sure, I never skip my morning coffee. Essential for some people.
Definitely for me.
These words really paint a clearer picture of, the regularity of our habits.
It's really cool how these simple words, verbs, time phrases, adverbs, they weave together to describe someone's whole day. Shall we look at a couple of examples, like full routines?
Absolutely. Let's picture a weekday for someone, say, working from home.
Okay, common scenario now.
Right. So they might wake up around 6:30 a.m., get out of bed shortly after, brush teeth, quick shower, then make coffee, eat a light breakfast, maybe yogurt, granola, something like that.
Okay.
Around 7:45, maybe skim the news, plan the day, and then by 8:00, they're starting work, home office.
Gotcha.
Usually take a lunch break, maybe 1 p.m., perhaps step outside for a bit, get some air.
Good idea.
Work continues until, say, 5:30 p.m. In the evening, maybe a walk, then cook and eat dinner around 7:00.
And after dinner?
Afterwards, maybe relax, read, catch up with friends online. And they aim to be in bed by 10:30 p.m.
Okay, that sounds pretty standard for remote work.
Yeah.
How about another one? Maybe someone who commutes.
Sure. Okay, let's imagine someone else. Wakes up 7 a.m., gets up pretty quickly.
Right away. No snooze button.
Maybe not. Drinks a glass of water, does a few stretches perhaps.
Healthy start?
Then shower, teeth, get dressed. Breakfast might be quicker, banana, piece of toast.
Grab and go.
Kind of. Leaves for work around 8:15 a.m. Takes the bus, maybe listens to, I don't know, an English podcast.
Good use of commute time.
Definitely. Workday is 9:00 to 5:00. Lunch with colleagues around noon. After work, maybe they head to a language exchange meetup. Or just run some errands.
Okay, busy evening.
Could be dinner, usually around 7:30 p.m. Then relaxation movie, call family. Tries to sleep by 11 p.m.
What strikes me listening to those is how consistently they use that present simple tense we mentioned.
Exactly.
It's all wake up, eat, go, start.
Yes, because these are regular, repeated actions, habits. That's what the present simple is perfect for.
And you also hear those time expressions slotting in naturally in the morning, around noon, after work.
They act like signposts, guiding you through the day's story.
And it's those little personal touches, isn't it? Like listening to a podcast or meeting friends. That makes it feel real.
Precisely. And that's something you, listening now, can really do. When you describe your day, add those specific little details. Makes it yours.
Good tip.
Now, since that present simple tense is so fundamental here, maybe we should dive a bit deeper into the grammar, just the key bits.
Okay, yeah, let's get to the nuts and bolts. What's the core thing to remember about its structure?
Okay, so the basic idea, the core of present simple, is using the base form of the verb, the dictionary form.
Like eat, go sleep.
Exactly. For most subjects, I, you, we, they, talk about habits, regular stuff, general truths. So, like we heard, I wake up early, you eat lunch, we go home, they watch TV. Pretty simple for those.
Okay, seems straightforward enough, but there's a catch, right?
Ah, yes, the catch, the third person singular.
He, she, and it. The tricky ones.
That's them.
Yeah.
When your subject is he, she, or it, you usually need to add an S or ES to the end of that base verb.
Right, this is where people slip up sometimes.
Very common, yeah. So it's worth really focusing on. For example, I go, but he goes. You work, but she works.
Okay.
We also see it with verbs ending in like shush or shit. I watch, but he watches. They finish, but she finishes.
So that little S or S is the signal. Third person singular present simple. Got it. Now, what about saying we don't do something? Negatives.
Okay, for negatives, we bring in helper verbs.
Right.
Don't or doesn't before the main verb.
Don't.
Don't for I, you, we, they, doesn't for he, she, it.
Okay.
And here's the key thing. After you use don't or doesn't, the main verb goes back to its base form. No S needed anymore.
Ah, okay. The S is kind of used up by doesn't.
That's a great way to think about it, yeah. So, I don't drink coffee after lunch. They don't usually eat out. And she doesn't start work until 10, see? Just start, not starts.
That makes perfect sense. The helper verb does the heavy lifting. Okay, and questions. How do we ask about routines?
Similar idea, we use helper verbs do or does, but this time they usually come at the beginning of the sentence.
Do for I, you, we, they, and does for he, she, it.
You got it. And again, the main verb stays in its base form. So, do you wake up early? Do they travel often? And does he take the train? Does she enjoy cooking?
Okay, so quick recap. Base verb normally. Add S or is for he, she, is. Use don't or doesn't, plus base verb for negatives. Start questions with do or does, plus base verb.
Exactly. Nail those basics, and you're well on your way to talking about routines really accurately.
Brilliant. Okay, grammar essentials covered. Now let's look at some ready-to-use sentence patterns and maybe some specific questions for conversation.
Excellent idea. Let's make it practical.
Give us some go-to phrases, things we can use right away.
Okay, well, one really natural way is to weave in those adverbs of frequency we talked about.
Usually. Sometime.
Exactly. So you can say things like, I always get up before 7 a.m., or she usually has a coffee wick around 10:30.
Okay.
They sometimes work late. I never miss my morning walk. He often listens to music while commuting. We often have dinner together.
See how smoothly they fit in? That really adds detail.
It does. It gives a much better sense of routine.
Okay, so that's for describing our own habits. What about finding out about someone else's day? What are some good questions?
Asking questions. Great way to practice and connect. Some simple common ones are, what time do you usually wake up?
Classic.
Yeah. Or what do you typically do after you get up? Do you have breakfast at home or?
Or grab something on the go.
Exactly. And remember to switch to does for he, she, it. Does he work from home? Does she have a long commute?
Right. Don't forget the does.
You can also get more specific. What time does your workday usually start? Or how do you typically spend your evenings?
And asking about frequency is good too, right? Like how often?
Absolutely. Questions like how often you go to the gym or how often does she eat out? They tell you a lot about patterns, even simple ones. Do you have lunch with colleagues? What time do you usually get back home? They all open doors to conversation.
Yeah, having these questions ready makes it much less intimidating, much more fluid. Okay, how about we try a quick practice dialogue? See it in action.
Great idea. Let's do a little role play, just some typical back and forth. You can ask me something first if you like.
Okay, sure. What time do you usually wake up on weekdays?
Me. I generally wake up around 1:15 a.m. How about you? When does your alarm go off?
Mine's set for 6:45. Early start. Do you usually have a big breakfast?
No, not really. I usually just have coffee, maybe some fruit. What about you? What do you typically eat?
I'm a toast person, usually toast with avocado. How do you get to work?
I actually cycle. It's a nice way to start the day. Wakes me up. How about you? Your commute?
Oh, lucky me, my office is just a short walk from my apartment.
Nice.
Do you tend to work late often?
Sometimes. If there's a big deadline, you know. But I try to finish around 6 p.m. What about you? When do you usually finish?
I try to wrap things up by 5:3. So what do you like to do in the evenings then?
I enjoy reading or sometimes meeting up with friends. How do you usually spend your evenings?
I often cook dinner, then maybe watch a bit of TV or listen to a podcast to unwind. What time do you usually go to bed?
I try for 10:30. Try being the key word. How about you?
I'm usually a bit later, probably around 11 p.m. most nights.
Okay, see, that gives a good feel for how that kind of chat can flow.
Yeah, totally natural.
And it's something you, listening, can easily adapt with your own details.
Definitely. You don't need to memorize it all. Just pick a few bits that feel right and practice them.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. Any practical tips for actually creating and practicing your own routine descriptions?
Yeah, absolutely. Where should people start?
I'd say keep it simple at first. Don't feel you need fancy words or super complex sentences right away.
Good point.
Just start with basics like I wake up at, I eat breakfast at. Build that foundation first. Get comfortable.
That's really solid advice. Keep it manageable. What else?
Use your real routine, what you actually do.
Makes sense.
It's easier to remember the words, and it feels more natural because, well, it is natural. It's your life.
Personal relevance always helps learning. Any other strategies?
Writing it down first can be super helpful.
Oh, yeah. How so?
It helps you organize your thoughts, figure out the sequence, spot words you don't know yet. You can build your sentences carefully.
Right, like drafting it out.
Exactly. And then, crucially, practice speaking it out loud.
Even just to yourself.
Absolutely. Talk to yourself in the mirror, talk to your pet, record yourself on your phone, or if you have a language partner or tutor, even better. But the act of actually saying it makes a huge difference.
And consistency is key, I imagine.
Totally. Little and often is usually better than one massive session. Even just 5 minutes a day, talking through your routine, you'll see improvement surprisingly quickly.
Fantastic. Really practical tips there. Okay, before we wrap up, are there any really common mistakes people make when talking about routines? Things to watch out for?
Yes, definitely. Knowing the common pitfalls helps you avoid them, right?
Sure.
Probably the number one mistake is forgetting that third person says or as.
Ah, yes, the classic.
It's so easy to forget. But remember, I drank, but she drinks. They go, but he goes. It's small, but it really matters for accuracy.
Absolutely. That's a big one.
What else? Another tricky area is remembering to use do and does for questions and negatives.
Instead of just
saying like you wake up early, it needs to be do you wake up early?
Right.
And for negatives, it's I don't like, not I not like.
Right.
Or he doesn't eat, not he not eat.
Got it. Use those helpers. Do, does, don't, doesn't. Essential building blocks. Any other common slip-ups?
Yeah. One more maybe. Making sure you use the present simple for these habits, not another tense like the present continuous.
So saying I wake up, not I am waking up.
Exactly. For a daily habit, it's I wake up at 7 every day. The ing form, the present continuous, is more for actions happening right now generally.
Right. Good distinction. Those are really valuable points to keep an eye on. Practice focusing on those areas will definitely boost accuracy.
Absolutely. So just to quickly recap our deep dives today, we've talked about why discussing your daily routine matters in English.
Super important.
Given you lots of useful vocabulary and common phrases.
The building blocks.
Clarify that key present simple grammar.
Especially that third person's breaths.
Looked at some examples, shared practice questions, and flagged those common mistakes to avoid.
So really, the next step for you listening is, well, it's clear, isn't it? Start practicing.
Yeah.
Even just saying a few sentences about your day out loud, it really starts to build confidence and flow.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Think about how your daily routine actually reflects, your priorities, your lifestyle.
Interesting point.
Being able to talk about that in English isn't just about language skills. It's about sharing a real part of who you are. It's connection, really.
Yeah.
More than just talking about the clock.
Well said. It's about connecting on that human level.